Friends, as you all know, cloud is today's emerging technology with many organizations already adopted it and many are on the way. Microsoft has its own cloud by name Azure, which you can sign up for free and use it for 1 year as a trial. So today I would be creating a SQL server and a database in it on Microsoft Azure cloud, and then I would be synchronizing Tally's data into it using Tally to database server utility. So let's begin. Let us first log into the Azure portal. So I will launch one more tab and go to a website called portal.azure.com. So first time you will have to sign up for a free Microsoft account. Okay. And then you will have to link your credit card. And don't worry, Microsoft would be just deducting 2 rupees and again crediting it back just for verification. Okay, so I will directly sign in using my Windows key. So without even writing user ID, you can just quickly sign up using your Windows PC password also, PIN, sorry. So let's wait while it is signing in. Okay, so this way you can see a screen like this. So with a free trial, okay. So I just signed in 2-3 days ago before this video. So for the first month you would be getting a trial, okay. Be getting a trial, and after the 1 month it's over, your free credits gets over, then you are eligible to some free services. Okay. Now next step is to create a resource group so that you can track that how much cost that Azure database or a database server is using for specific client or maybe department. So you can divide it using company wise or client wise or department wise, whichever you want. So I'll go to resource group and click create resource group. Subscription would be free trial, and name of the resource group, let's say Tally. Okay, now you can ideally write your client name or department name, and region I will keep US East only. Okay, next, next, and let us create it. Okay, so our resource group Tally is created so that we can easily track all the costs related to this, our database hosting related to our Tally demo. Okay, then I will again go to home. Now let us create our SQL server and SQL database. So I'll go to menu, all services, then to the databases and SQL databases. And let us create a SQL database. So resource group, we will select Tally, which we just now created. Name of the database. So name of your client something. You can write any. And server. Now first time we need to create an SQL server. So let us click create new and server name. Now this should be globally unique, just like we need to reserve our unique email ID. So you can write any. Probably you should be entering your client's name. It will take 10 to 15 seconds to check. Okay. So server by this name is available. Okay. It doesn't clashes. Method would be SQL authentication. Login name. So let us now you can enter your first name or maybe organization name as a login. So I'll enter my name, Dhananjay, and password you can let me enter a simple one, Tally at the rate 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 so that it matches. the criteria tally at the rate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let us click OK and go to the next step of creation. Okay, now it is asking for the backup storage redundancy, so we can keep it locally. Okay, just click local. Now I'm demonstrating you all the options of low cost. Okay, where you would be charged lowest. Now compute plus storage, by default it comes as a 250 GB storage. Let us configure it and keep it on the lower one so that we won't be charged heavy. So I will keep it basic for less demanding workloads. And what is the database size? Now in my case, it would not be even GB, zero point 0.1 GB, or I can, okay, zero point 0.1 GB, 100 MB is enough for me. Let us click apply. So 100 MB database. Next, click on the networking. Connectivity method, it should be publicly accessible. Okay, it should be publicly accessible. So I will click public endpoint and yes, allow Azure services to access it and add current client's IP address so that using this IP address we can connect. Now this I would be covering afterwards because this is a bit different topic. Okay, rest of the option you can keep it as it is. Encryption, yes, you can keep as it is. Let us click next. Security, okay, not now. This option you can keep as it is. You don't even need to modify this. Next, additional, this also looks good. Next, tags I will ignore. Okay, now this is the estimated cost. So it is not necessary that you would be charged the same cost. Okay, you would be charged even less also. So let us create our database. Okay, database server. Sorry. So this may take few minutes to create because we are creating both database server and a database. So let us wait for a few minutes. So I will forward this video. Okay, friends. So our database server and database both have been created. See. So let us go to again home screen so that we can proceed further. Now the next step would be creating structure of the database because this database is blank currently. So let me go to my database, SQL database. So I can click here and let us click query editor and let us log in it. So I'll click OK and attempt to log in. Okay, so we are able to log in and inside table, see there are no tables. So we need to create tables. So let us go to the project page, database structure, and we can simply copy paste this complete thing. Let me paste it and run. Or I will select all this and run it. Click run so that all the tables would be created. Let's refresh this view. Okay, so you can see all the uh, tables created. Okay, so let us go back to home screen again. So we need not save this. Now we need to point our config.json database setting to this Azure database. So let me go to the utility folder and edit config.json. Technology is MS, that means Microsoft SQL Server. Server name is, let me go to this. I will show you what is the server name. So this is our server name. So I can copy it and directly replace. Port number is 1433 and be sure not to remove any commas or and break the JSON structure. Schema name is tally demo, that is database name, tally underscore demo. Username is Dhananjay because I created by this. Password I entered tally at the rate 1234567 8. You can enter your own. Okay, and the rest of the settings you can keep it same. In my tally 1920 here is selected. Okay, and company is the default company which is selected in the tally. Now let us rerun the utility. So I'll delete this file so that I can get output. And let us click run.bat and see our data loading. Just click it. So this may take few minutes. Let us wait for it. So I will fast forward the video. Okay, so after the import is over, that console window will automatically close down, and then we can check if errors are there. No error dot 0 kb, that means no errors. And let us check import.log. Yes, so you can see many rows imported. So our import is successful. Let us quickly check if our data was imported correctly on server or not. So I'll go to that again, query editor. I'll click this online version of. You can alternately even download Azure Data Studio, which is available freely to query this. So we have many tables. Let us try to query our ledger table. So select star from MSP ledger. Let us run this and check if there is any data in it. Okay, you can see some data. Okay, so our data is perfectly imported. Now, before we connect through Power BI, first we need to configure our Azure SQL Database Server firewall. So I'll go here and click Set Server Firewall. Okay, and currently I will remove this my current IP address and instead let us name allow all. Let's name anything. So start IP range and end 255 dot, so that we can connect to our Azure SQL server from any PC. And let us click and apply this rule. So we have configured our firewall correctly. Now we are good to connect our Power BI to this. So let me turn on my Power BI. Now we don't have to worry about our IP address, change in IP address, because we can connect from anywhere. So I'll go to SQL Server. So get data from SQL Server. Server name. So I will keep this config.json as handy. Server name. You can copy paste like this. Server name. Database name is tally underscore demo or whatever you created. Just click OK. Next, you have to choose database authentication. So username, whatever you created while you were configuring your SQL server. Password also you can copy paste, and let us click connect. Let's wait for our database to appear. So friends, we can see our database appearing and all the tables inside it. So just for the time being, let us load three tables called ledger, okay, ledger, voucher table, and accounting portion of the vouchers. And let us quickly create transform data. Now I will simply create a small report for calculating closing balance of cash balance. Okay, so let me create a copy of this, or sorry, reference of this accounting table. So TRN all related to cash, transaction cash. Let me merge it with account, sorry, voucher table. So I will select this GUID and let us merge this. Okay, home, and you have to click merge queries. Merge it with voucher table, and GUID should be the connecting field. Inner join, that is all the matching rows, and let us keep only few fields. So I am just interested in date, voucher type, voucher number, and if it is accounting voucher or not. You can also keep narration also. I can remove this amount, forex and currency column because I don't need it, require it. Let us click close and apply, and wait for this data to load in for Power BI data model. Okay, so our data is loaded. Let us go to the data tab, and you can see data loaded here. Let us first save this file. So I will press save, and on desktop, tally underscore demo. You can write anything. Now for the demonstration purpose, I will quickly create a one-page dashboard just showing a closing cash balance as on the date. So let me quickly create measures for this. So under TRN vouchers, let me create a measure. So I'll click create new measure. So let's name this measure as cash closing balance. So is equal to shift enter. So let us declare two variables. So first variable I will hold opening balance of cash as on 1st April 2019 because our data is split. So var pval is equal to, so calculate, so just sum. Now naturally ledger table contains only one row of cash, or maybe it would not be containing anything. So we'll just quickly sum the ledger table. So ledger table, and we will select opening balance. Okay, so let us quickly apply sum to opening balance, and in the filter we will say that our ledger name, okay, ledger name should be is equal to cash. So naturally one row will come, naturally only one row would be coming. Shift enter. Now let us declare second variable net effects. Okay, again calculate. Now I have to sum all the rows of TRN voucher where cash in the ledger cache is written. Okay, sum all the rows in this trn cache. Okay, trn cache table. Okay, trn cache amount, and what should be the filter? So filter should be that in the ledger name. Okay, ledger. So in the ledger name should be is equal to cache. Now, one thing can happen that you may go into situation where no entries of cache are there. So we will ensure that blank doesn't comes, because 0 plus blank or maybe opening balance plus blank cannot be added. So there is a function in DAX called call esc, so which ensures that if blank comes here, at least 0 will appear here. And third variable, or let us return, so return what? Opening balance plus net effects. Let us return back this value, and let me press enter. Let's check this. So I'll go to visualization tab, drop a card. So I'll select card from here and drop this measure cash closing balance on the card. Let me change the setting. Okay, sorry, it isn't. Data label, display units, none. That means complete cash balance, closing balance would be displayed. Let us recheck this with tally. We'll go to ledger voucher, select cash and period 14 to 35 3. So closing balance is 6165 to 5.95. Let me check 6165 to 5.95. So this is perfect. Let us save this. Now let me push this report to the cloud. So you can just rename test report, save it, and we need to sign in. So I will sign in. We'll have to use your business email ID. Let me enter the password. Okay, now it is signed in. Now let us publish this report, tally demo, and this page is test report. Just click it, publish, and workspace. I already told you how to create it. So I will just click select and publish to that workspace. Okay, so the report is published successfully. Let me access this report. So I will access it from another browser so that I don't have to again log in, log out. So I will sign into office.com and use that same business email ID where I have published or pushed this report to the cloud. And let us go to Power BI, into the workspace, tally demo. So you can see this report. Let me click and open it. Okay, so friends, you can see this even published to cloud. Now the important portion. So let's assume that each day, somewhere in the night, your utility automatically runs and syncs the data into this cloud-based SQL server. Or let's say it runs each hour. Okay, it runs every hour. Now how to automate this? I have already demonstrated in previous video, so you can refer that video for that. So for the time being, let me synchronize. But before that, to see if the data synchronization is happening correctly, let us change any figure. Okay, let us change some figure. So let's say I add up one cash voucher and change the cash balance. Let me create one payment, cash payment. Let's say Balaji Electronics, and let's reduce our cash balance by, let's say, 40,800. 40,800, and just test entry on 31st March 20. Let me check the cash balance. Okay, so this closing balance has now changed. Okay, now you don't require actually Tally means this Power BI desktop also running, because this data is already there on the cloud. Okay, this data is already there on the cloud. So automatically this utility will be running. So let us assume that at the day end this utility runs. So I'll just click again run and bat and synchronize this data with the database. So Tally's data I am synchronizing with the database. So it will take a minute or more to synchronize data based on your volume. So I will skip this portion of the video of updating. So I will fast forward it. Okay, the synchronization is complete. So now uh, SQL Server database on the Azure cloud has a latest set of data. Now you don't require a Power BI desktop as told. Now this connection is directly between web version of your Power BI service with your Azure SQL database. So let us click refresh button. Okay, now refresh was not successful because there was a credential we need to re-enter in this Power BI service. Okay, so you have to go to settings. Okay, and from here you'll have to click edit credential, and again we need to write this. So username, you can directly refer this file. So username is this. Password also you can copy paste whatever you have sent. Okay, and let us click sign in. Okay, now we can refresh this. So now I will go here and click refresh. So you can see this in action. Let us wait. Now it has refreshed directly on the cloud. So there is no Power BI desktop or any physical machine in between. So now if we go to this report, and you may have to click refresh visual button. Okay, so friends, now you can see cash closing balance change. Let me refire this with Tally. 575,725.95. Okay, so in this way, directly you can refresh data from your Azure SQL database without even connecting to the Tally. Now, if you are just uh, testing this and exploring, I will recommend that you delete all the Azure resources which you have created, so that you don't get unnecessary build for it. If you want to do this on a real time thing, then it's okay. But if you are just exploring it, it is recommended that you delete all these SQLs, your server and database. Okay, this is just for explorers. Those who are using this for actual business thing need not delete, because you would be requiring this daily. Okay, so I will go to resource groups and I will delete this resource group. Okay, now I think this resource group cannot be deleted unless and until all the services under this are deleted. Okay, so I'll have to manually go to all those services and delete it. So first let us drop our database. Okay, so from here you can actually go to your active services. Okay, you will see a tab, or you can do it from here also. Okay, let us delete this. So I'll click delete button, type the database name. Database name is tally underscore demo. Let us delete this. So it might take a while to delete this. Okay, so it has been removed. Okay, so if I go to SQL database, so there are no database. Now you can safely even remove this resource group. Sorry. Okay, here you can see all the resources. Okay, now we can actually delete. Okay, once you delete all the services database, you can see this delete resource group button. So we'll simply, now before that we also need to delete our server. Okay, we also need to delete our server. So let us go to this and even delete our server. I think you need not delete server. It will automatically delete. Okay, if you click delete resource group, you can directly delete servers also. The resource name group name is tally. Okay, friends. So the resource group has also been deleted. I can see this deleted. So let me go to the home, and now no longer no resources would be there. So all the resource group. Okay, so friends, now this is clear. So now there would be no further billing by Microsoft Azure on this. You would be just charged for a few hours. You use this for exploring or testing this. Now you may ask one question, that SQL Server can also be set up on one of the server PC of your office. Then why to set up it on Azure? So let me tell you advantages. First, that it is very easy to set up. See, you didn't even require any technical knowledge. Within few clicks, we could set up an SQL server. Whereas physically, you would require IT knowledge of setting up a database server. Second one, SQL Server for commercial purpose is costly. So you may have to purchase a license which runs in almost lakhs of rupees. Third advantage, buying a physical server is a very costly thing. So on the 0 day, you have to pay complete server cost. Whereas here, you are paying it monthly. And also upgrading it is very, one click you can upgrade your RAM as per your requirement, which doesn't happens in physical server. You have to add up the RAM. So if you don't require the RAM, you cannot again remove it and sell it back. And fourth advantage, which I can see, is that if you want to expose your server to the internet for this data exchange, then you require an actual static IP and port forwarding for it. So this type of business connection is costly again. In Azure, you don't have to pay even for that. It is there in it. So I hope this advantage are clear, and somewhere again the same equation is playing the role, leasing versus purchasing. So you have to think about that option very carefully and evaluate it for your organization. So that's all.